All right, this next kind of problem was on your worksheet, I believe, and I think it was on one of your homework assignments. It said, find the length of each side determined by the 3 points, P sub 1, P sub 2, and P sub 3. State whether the triangle that those 3 points determine is an isosceles triangle, a right triangle, or both. Then they give you the 3 points. Point 1 is 5, negative 3, point 2 is 2, 0, point 3 is 2, negative 3. So first of all, you have to find the distance between each one. So the distance between point 1 and point 2 would be equal to, okay, point 1 and point 2. Remember, the distance formula is the square root. Let's go ahead and jot it up here. The formula is square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. You will not be given that formula on the test, so you just need to remember it, okay? So the distance between point 1 and point 2, well, I'll go ahead and say the differences in the x's, so 5 minus 2 squared plus the differences in the y's, which would be negative 3 minus 0 squared. Okay, sorry, it's kind of, make sure we're all in the camera shot here. Kind of scoot this over a smidge. Okay. All right, and so 5 minus 2 is 3, and 3 squared is 9, and negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3, and negative 3 squared is also 9. So this comes out to actually be square root of 18, which could be called, since 18 is 2 times 9, we could say that this is 3 root 2. That's the distance between point 1 and point 2. Next, the distance between point 2 and point 3. Okay, so it's the square root of point 2 and point 3. So you're going to go 2 minus 2 squared plus 0 plus 3 squared, which would give us 2 minus 2 is 0, and then 0 plus 3 is 3, and 3 squared is 9, so this is going to be just 3. Okay, so the distance between point 2 and point 3 is just 3. And then the last one is between point 1 and point 3. Between point 1 and point 3. So it'll be the square root of the differences in the x's, so 5 minus 2 squared plus negative 3 plus 3 squared, because negative 3 minus negative 3 would be negative 3 plus 3. So 5 minus 2 is 3, 3 squared is 9. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0, 0 squared, 0. So this will just come out to be 3. Okay, so 2 of the sides are the same, and there's the third side. So if you have 2 sides the same in a triangle, you do know that it's an isosceles. So I do already know it is an isosceles, okay? What I don't know yet is it a right triangle. So to figure out if it's a right triangle, since I know one side is this, one side is this, and one side is this, I would just say, would you, and then you're going to have to figure out which one's the biggest, I guess. So I think if this is square root of 18, and this is square root of 9, and this is square root of 9, I think square root of 18 is definitively bigger, okay? So that has to, if it's true that it's a right triangle, that'd have to be the biggest side, okay? So is it true that 3 squared plus 3 squared is equal to 3 root 2 squared? Okay, I'm wondering, is this true? If it's true, then yes, it's a right triangle. So 3 squared is 9, 3 squared is 9, and then if you square 3 root 2, square root of 3 squared is 9, square root of 2 squared is just 2. So as 9 plus 9 is 18, and 9 times 2 is 18. This is true, so since it's true, it is a right triangle. So I would say that here's all the distances. They're going to ask you, what is the distance of each thing? And they're going to ask you, is it an isosceles triangle, a right triangle, or both? And I would say it is both, because it is both an isosceles triangle and a right triangle. So we would say both.